When it comes to Disney Star Wars, it seems the cope is strong with some. Like this recent article saying Star Wars' importance to Disney Plus was confirmed by staggering new data. Unfortunately, of course, the data itself in this recent report from Variety magazine in partnership with Luminance, who measures streaming metrics, it seems that the opposite may actually be true. That is, of course, if Screen Rant had even bothered to read what they were reporting on.
Renegade Online.
Let's talk about this one first, though. Star Wars' importance to Disney Plus confirmed by staggering new data. Okay. All right. Let's see what they have to say, because there's some interesting things that are in here and some things that are not. Star Wars importance to Disney Plus confirmed by staggering new data. Let's see exactly what this staggering data was. Now, this was from originally, I know it's people are like, oh my God, it's Screen Rant. Please don't do Screen Rant. No, I know, because originally it came across the Apple News feed from Screen Rant. It popped up as Star Wars and Disney News. And part of the problem was at first I couldn't access the original Variety article and data it came from because I couldn't get my VIP to log in. So I had this up. All right, this says new data. And we're talking about streaming right now, right? We're talking about the Comcast thing. We're talking about Disney Plus, all these new joint ventures with Warner Brothers and all this crap. New data confirms Star Wars importance to Disney Plus, contributing over 15.8% of viewership this year, 2024. All right. Viewership pattern suggests strong favor towards Star Wars even without live-action releases this year. Red flag number 2. Yeah, they've had nothing come out this year. Bad Batch, animated series, that's it. Lucasfilm's upcoming live-action shows like The Acolyte and Skeleton Crew will be the real test for Star Wars on Disney+. New data has confirmed just how important Star Wars is to Disney, even though there haven't been any live-action releases. Per Variety, and we're going to switch over to the Variety magazine article here. Per Variety, third-party analytics firm Luminance Streaming Viewership has analyzed viewers who checked out Disney Plus originals in 2024. Yep, there's the key word. Disney Plus originals. You got to read a few paragraphs down to get to the truth, don't you, folks? And that is that the idea with this headline is making you think Star Wars is so huge and important on Disney Plus. 16% of all the viewership so far this year. And they haven't even had a live action show yet. They've had Bad Batch, which probably pushed a lot of numbers for them. And then you realize that's only Disney Plus originals. It's not the library content that was in the movie theater. It's not the library content from 20 years ago. It's the originals. How many Disney Plus originals are there? There's basically Marvel and Star Wars and a handful of other smaller things. You sneaky bastards. I see what you're doing. We're not letting you get away with it. So this is gonna be the thing all week. Well, Star Wars is still huge. It's one of the biggest things on Disney Plus. No. Read the data correctly. Let's go to the Variety article. 2024. This is the actual Variety VIP piece. This is where this data is coming from. There's some key information here to understand. Now, I have not read this thing entirely yet, so I'm going to be doing a cold read with you, but stay tuned. And then, of course, we'll have this in a video later this week. 2024 streaming hits point way to post-peak TV IP strategy. And it says, for the legions of creatives and industry observers looking for clarity in the post-peak TV environment, the contours of a new landscape are beginning to emerge. The TV industry's morph into full blockbuster mode, a transformation that's been underway for a while now, seems to be solidifying. Amazon's big-budget game adaptation, Fallout, recently became the second most watched Prime Video title ever in just over 2 weeks of release, behind only TV's first billion-dollar television show. I'm not even going to dignify this show by giving it the Lord of the Rings moniker. It is strictly the Rings of Power. That's it. That's it. I'm not even calling it LOTR. It's just Rings of Power. We're going with that. The show doesn't deserve anything else. Meanwhile, on Paramount, Cinematic World of Sonic the Hedgehog expansion Knuckles attained highest viewing time across its first 3 days of release of any Paramount original series, with more than 4 million hours streamed, according to both a press release and Luminance streaming viewership data. Now, what's key about that is, of course, the third Sonic the Hedgehog movie is coming out this Christmas. It's going head-to-head with Mufasa, the Lion King from Disney. And I think this is really smart because if this becomes one of the biggest things in terms of most watch time consumed by audiences for Paramount Plus, that means there's a lot of kids watching this show. A lot of kids watching the show. And they're watching it a lot. So that's going to be good news for Sonic 3 come Christmas. So stay tuned for that one. But if you look here, Paramount, we kind of know Tulsa King, Mayor of King's That. Look at the others. It's like everything else. There's some of their original content you see up at the top. Paramount Plus, you got Halo Season 1, Season 2, 1923, which is a spin-off show of Yellowstone. Thank you. Prequel to Yellowstone. Tulsa King, Season 1. Great show. That's a Sylvester Stallone show. If you're not watching Tulsa King, go check it out, please. Mayor of Kingstown is a great show. They got a lot of good stuff. Paramount's got a lot of good stuff. Let's go down to Disney, because this is where this kind of goofy, silly, kind of weird stuff was coming from in this Screen Rant piece. So let's look at this. 2024 share of Disney Plus original series viewership. So again, we are removing anything that originated on a Disney linear broadcast channel. Anything that originated on ABC, the Disney Channel, FX, anything like that. All of that is off the table. This is strictly stuff that was made expressly for Disney Plus. That would not include Moana. That would not include any Disney movies. That would include Indiana Jones, any of the Marvel films. None of that. Strictly Disney Plus original series. Let's look at what happened here so far from December 29th, 2023. This is data compiled by Luminance through May 10th of this year. Mando Season 1. There's 2.6% of all of the watch time for strictly original Disney Plus shows. Mando Season 1. Loki Season 2. Honestly, who the hell's watching even Loki Season 1 at this point? That show's so bad, it's ridiculous. A Real Bug's Life, which I guess is a Disney Plus exclusive they made from the OG Pixar Bug's Life. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. That came out this year, right? That was a series that was on Disney Plus, exclusively for Disney Plus. I believe that launched in 2024. 23.3%. So that means all of Star Wars combined is still 8 percentage points behind the consumption of Percy Jackson. One Percy Jackson show. Just to be clear. Echo, almost 12%. I don't think did Echo release this year at the end of last year? Again, terrible show. Terrible show. X-Men 97. Now, that had really just kind of gotten, I guess, by May 10th, it was, halfway through or almost done? It was 6 episodes out by then? I forget when X-Men 97 started. But you see Star Wars Bad Batch Season 3. That was the biggest thing. Ahsoka Season 1 still had some holdover. Mando Season 3 had some holdover. Mando Season 1. Where's Mando Season 2? How do we have people watching Mando Season 1 at 2.6%? Mando Season 3 at 3.3%. How is Mando Season 2 not in there? How is that not right in there? That's kind of weird. Like that one episode of Mando Season 2 at the end with Luke Skywalker. Maybe people stopped watching Season 2 because of what happened after it was over. And watching that last episode of Mando Season 2 probably just was another kick in the balls all over again, considering what we know now happened after that episode. It's great when it came out. Everybody was so elated. And then it was just... Eric Cartman walked in the room and went, "Well, I'll Rochambeau you for it. I'll kick you in the balls as hard as I can, and you kick me in the balls." No, Bob Iger just kicked you in the balls. That was it. That was the end of it. This is bizarre to me because, again, the key thing here is they're trying to make this like Star Wars look more important. And this does not include Bluey. Not a Disney Plus original series. Disney licenses that from somebody else. This doesn't, honestly, this chart tells us nothing. Because you know why? We have no idea based on this graphic alone. Now, we'll read the rest of this. See if it's maybe buried in there somewhere. We have absolutely no idea what percentage of the total consumption on Disney Plus this even represents. None. I mean, we're saying that this is the total 2024 viewing of original Disney Plus series. But what if the total consumption of all of Disney Plus, that these original series, this whole pie chart, only represents 20% of all the viewership on the whole streaming service? We don't know. It's just weird. It doesn't work for me. One of the year's first major streaming successes was Percy Jackson, an adaptation of a YA book series. Yeah, we got that. It's also one of the streamer's few success stories not tied to Marvel or Star Wars. But again, how are we considering this a success? We are looking at this in a vacuum, absent incredibly crucial and relevant data, like how much of this actual pie chart does this represent of the total consumption on Disney Plus? Here's my point. What if, and it's very possible, I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably exactly what's happening. What if you took every show in this pie chart, all of the consumption time on this pie chart for all of these shows from January till May 10th of 2024, and all of these shows put together weren't even half of the consumption of what Bluey has gotten? Because I'm telling you right now, that's probably what this is. Maybe take Percy Jackson out because that's actually a show, like a newer show. But I don't think that's going to even come close to what Bluey has done in the last 5 months. Nothing. Again, and the point is not to just reflexively poo-poo on the Disney Plus shows. Again, it goes to the fact, everything on this list, Mando, well, maybe not Mando Season 1, but definitely Mando Season 3, Ahsoka, Echo, Percy Jackson, I don't know about the others. We're talking about $150 to $200 million per show to produce these things. When related to its production budget, probably turning in an incredibly paltry amount overall of what the total Disney Plus viewership is. Now, again, I'll be fair, and the article and the research does pull this up, is that we haven't had a Marvel show, a big Marvel show that premiered this year so far. I think Echo was like late last year, wasn't it? Or did it spill over into this year? Or was it like right at the end of last year? I don't remember. The show was so damn bad. I got like an episode and a half into it. And I had to turn it off. I couldn't even suffer through it to review it. It was terrible. We'll get The Acolyte here in a few weeks, right? That's like 2-3 weeks away now. June 4th, that's coming out. So let's see how it moves these numbers, if any, significantly. But I want to see something. How does this actually compare to total Disney consumption? I don't wake up every morning and go, my God, how on earth can I dump on Screen Rant today? But y'all make it so damn easy. These are simple questions that need to be asked. If you're going to write articles like this, especially if your website is Screen Rant and you want to cover the Hollywood and entertainment industry, for the love of all that is holy, please actually ask relevant questions. Look at these things and understand what they're telling you. What we just had up, this thing from Variety, honestly, and I'm not saying they're intending to do this, but this is what Screen Rant gleaned from it. Screen Rant's the one that came in and said Star Wars' importance to Disney Plus is confirmed by staggering new data. Yeah, except it's really not, dude. How many other major Disney Plus original exclusive Disney Plus series are there besides Marvel and Star Wars? It's virtually nothing. So by default, Star Wars is going to be one of the most important Disney Plus original series onlys. There's just nothing else out there. That's it. It's going to be them and Marvel and a handful of other things. Oh, wait, we forgot Willow.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.